Good morning, friends. I hope everyone is doing well. I request everyone to watch my videos in a sequence for better understanding. If you really like my teaching and my efforts, please press the like button, share the videos with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell button to get the regular updates. In the last video, I have discussed about the source port and destination port in the TCP header format in detail. In this video, I want to discuss about the sequence number and acknowledgement number in detail. As you already know that the sequence number will occupy 32 bit. Am I right? Sequence number will occupy 32 bit in the TCP header format. Similarly, 32 bit is allocated for acknowledgement. Can you tell me what is the purpose of the sequence number and the acknowledgement number? If you know the answer, please write it in the comment section. Now, those who does not know what is the purpose of sequence number, let me discuss for them. The sequence number is useful to identify the segment uniquely. You will send the segment S1, segment S2, segment S3. Now each segment you need to uniquely identify. So each segment will have a sequence number which is unique to this segment. So using the sequence number, I could able to identify the segments. Now what is the purpose of acknowledgement? Now whenever the source sends the information to the receiver, if the receiver receives this information correctly, then what the receiver has to do? The receiver has to send an acknowledgement. Am I right? Now when he is sending the acknowledgement, when the receiver is sending the acknowledgement also should have a number. Am I right or wrong? So it will be useful to identify the acknowledgement uniquely. So when you are sending the segment, let's take that you are sending the segment S1, okay, which can be uniquely identified by its sequence number. Let's take that 100. And you are sending the bits from 100 to 199. That's what I have discussed. Now, as the TCP is a byte stream protocol, each byte will be counted. Now, if you want to send 100 bytes, and the first byte is starting from 100, and then you want to send 100 bytes. If you want to send 100 bytes, then the last byte number will be 199 because each byte will be identified with a number. Am I right or wrong? So when you're counting all the bytes, now the last byte will be 199. So what will be the sequence number in this field? The first byte will act as a sequence number. What is the number? 100. So this will act as a sequence number for this segment. That is what I want to say. Now, once the receiver receives this information, receiver will send an acknowledgement. What will be the number? He received up to 199 bytes. Next byte he is expecting 200. So the acknowledgement will be ACK 200. The number of the acknowledgement is 200 because the receiver is next expecting the 200th byte. Then what the sender will do? Sender will send the information from 200 bytes to 299 bytes. Then what will be the sequence number for this one? Is 200. Are you able to following it or not? Once the receiver receives this information, receiver will send an acknowledgement called ACK 300. So this is the purpose of sequence numbers and acknowledgement number. Sequence number is used to uniquely identify the segment. ACK and acknowledgement number is used to identify the acknowledgement uniquely. So this acknowledgement and this acknowledgement I can differentiate with the help of the number. Now let me discuss about the sequence number in detail. Okay, I hope you are understanding the concept. If you really like those videos, please share the videos with your friends. Now let's take that source is there and the receiver is there. Okay, are you able to follow? Now, source and receiver want to have a communication. Now, source want to send the information. Now, what the source will do? It will establish the communication. All these things we will discuss. What will happen during the connection establishment, what will happen during the data transfer, and what will happen in the connection termination. Just for understanding the sequence number, let me take a simple example. Now source want to send 200 bytes of information as a one segment. Okay, it want to send multiple segments. Then what it will do? It will start from the sequence number 0. Am I right or wrong? Because the first segment will consist of the information from 0 to 199 bytes. Will you accept with me or not? Because this is the first segment. You are sending the 0th byte to 199 bytes. Then tell me what will be the sequence number. The first byte number is 0, so the sequence number will be 0. So source is sending a segment consists of sequence number is 0 and it has the packets from 0 to 200. Okay, can you tell me what will be the source port? Let's take that X. And destination port is 80. Okay, so you have the source port, you have the destination port, you have the sequence number, and you are transferring the data. Okay, now once the receiver receives this information, what the receiver will do? Receiver will send an acknowledgement. So it will be from 0 to 199. Okay, so acknowledgement will be 200. Will you accept with me or not? Once the source receives this acknowledgement, remember one thing, the TCP will use the flow control mechanism. Am I right or wrong? So what will happen? Once the source sends this information, it waits for a, how much time? It waits for a timeout. If the receiver sends the acknowledgement and sender receives the acknowledgement within the timeout, then okay. If it does not receive the acknowledgement for this packet within the timeout timer, then what it will do? Sender will retransfer the packet. Will you agree with me or not? What will be the timeout timer? It will be equal to 2 into round trip time. Then you can ask me, what is round trip time? Round trip time is equal to 2 into propagation delay. If you ask me what is propagation delay, I will scold you. What is propagation delay? Propagation delay is equal to distance by velocity. Am I right or wrong? Those who have watched my videos in a sequence, they will directly tell, sir, we no need to explain this much because already we know all these things. So timeout timer is equal to 2 into round trip time, and round trip time is equal to 2 into propagation delay. Propagation delay is distance by velocity, where distance is the distance between source and the receiver. Are you able to understand? Now let's take that. Once you got the acknowledgement, then what you will do? You will send the next segment. Let's take that it is sending the next segment. What will be the next segment? Starting by 200 and the last byte is 399. Can you tell me what will be the sequence number? 200. Am I right or wrong? This information has not delivered to the destination. Let's take that it has started timeout timer. Now this information the receiver has not received. Then what the receiver will do? Receiver cannot send the acknowledgement because till the packet is not delivered to the destination. So it is waiting, the destination is waiting for the next packet and source is waiting for the acknowledgement. Once the timeout timer is completed, what the source will do? Again it will retransfer the packet. So let's take that it is again retransferring the same packet and acknowledgement as received. And they have terminated the condition. Not condition, connection. Are you able to following it or not? So they have established a communication between source and destination and they started transferring the packets, and once the entire communication is completed, again they terminated the connection. So that's why we will call it as a TCP is a connection oriented protocol. You will establish a communication or a connection, then data will be transferred, then you will terminate the connection. Now let's take that. Let me write here. Let's take that again the connection has been established between the source and the receiver immediately. Okay. Then what will happen? Again it will use the port number X and the destination port number is 80. Same HTTP it want to use. Then what will happen? Again it want to send another 200 bytes of information. So when the new connection is established, you will say that, sir, again it will start from the sequence number 0 because you are sending the byte number 0 to 199. Are you able to understand? This communication is completed. Again you have established the communication. Then acknowledgement will come as 200 within the timeout timer. Am I right or wrong? Then what will happen? Again the source will send the next packet whose sequence number will be 200 and the bytes will be coming from 200 to 399 because I want to send the 200 bytes maximum. Am I right or wrong? Okay. Now what will happen? This packet is about to reach. Now this packet has came. Are you able to follow it or not? It was still pending here, and when this packet was about to reach, this packet came. And these two packets reached after once this packet came and this packet also reached. Now it could not able to differentiate which is the fresh packet and which is the old packet. Now what is the old packet? This packet is the old because it was the earlier communication packet, but this packet is a new packet. Those two packets have the same sequence number. Now how the receiver could able to identify which one it is? Suppose let's take that it has accepted this packet and neglected this packet. Meaning is that because it is a duplicate packet, because both having sequence number 200, then what it will do? It will receive one packet and it will neglect or drop the another packet because it is a duplicate packet. That is what the receiver will do. There is no mistake at the receiver. Am I right or wrong? So actually it is a problem. Why it is a problem? You are receiving the old information, not the updated information. Not updated information meaning is that this is the actual information sender is sending, which is old one. Previous time when you are communicating, this information you got. Now what is happening? Let's take that simple example. You are watching a cricket match. Let's take that you are watching a 2020 cricket match. Okay. When the cricket match is going on, let's take that this is 18th over and this is 19th over. Now if this is happening when you are supposed to watch 19.2 means 19th over second ball, if you receive the 18th over second ball, what will happen? You will be frustrated. Suppose let's take that wicket was fallen at when India is bowling. If wicket is fallen, then here also you think that again wicket is fallen. Am I right or wrong? Which is a wrong. Are you able to understand? So that is what the problem with the sequence number. Then can anyone tell me the solution for it? The solution for it is that what is the mistake we are doing here? We are always starting the sequence number from 0. For every communication, we are starting the sequence number from 0. Here also we started the sequence number 0 because we did not done any mistake because we have started the bytes from 0 to 199. The first byte number will act as a sequence number. That is okay. But again in the second communication also the sequence number became 0. So that is what the problem has happened. So then people have thought that why to face this problem? What will be the solution? As both the communication have the same sequence number, this is the problem has happened. So why can't we start the first initial sequence number as a random? That is what people have suggested or people have decided. Now we will discuss. I want to send 200 bytes of information in a single segment. Meaning is that maximum segment size at the sender and receiver is 200. So that is what. Now how it will identify what is the source segment number, what is the receiver maximum segment size, all these things we will discuss when we are discussing the connection establishment. Now let's take that it is using a random sequence number. For this one is let's take that 400. Meaning is that first byte it is giving a number called 400. Are you able to understand? Then what will be the next? If you are sending 200 bytes, then you will have 599. Am I right or wrong? So the first byte we are instead of 0 we are considering it as 400 and to 599. This is the number we are giving. Are you able to understand it or not? Now, the sequence number is 400. Then acknowledgement will be received as 600. Am I right or wrong? Then the problem will be solved. When you are starting another communication, again you will get another sequence number, which is a random sequence number, then you will use it. Are you able to understand? When you are starting a new communication, let's take that you got the some 2000 as the sequence number. Then the problem is solved. Am I right or wrong? Now I want to discuss another important point. Please note down this one. How were you able to identify the acknowledgement number? We have identified the acknowledgement number based on the last byte in the segment what the receiver has received. Now, how can you able to identify the last byte in the segment? We said that segment is starting from 200 bytes and it is consists of 200 bytes totally. So we said that 399 is the maximum. Now how the receiver is identifying that this byte number is 399, meaning is that this total information is 200 bytes. Does we have any field called total length in the TCP or not? You can check it once. We have total length field which is 16 bytes in the IPv4. However, we don't have total length in the TCP. If you have a doubt, you please check it once. Okay, but however we have header length field which is a 4 bits. Are you able to follow it or not? So if you take any TCP header or the TCP data, it consists of only header length and the data. So whenever you are sending a segment, you will have the header length and you will have the sequence number saying that what is the byte number initially. Let's take that your sequence number is 2000. Then meaning is that the first byte number is 2000. But if you know that total length, then what you can do? Then if total length is 200 bytes, then what you can make it? This is 2199. Then the receiver will send an acknowledgement called 2200. Will you accept with me or not? But however, we don't have any field called total length to identify the last byte. Then what we will do? Let me discuss what we will do it to identify the last byte. Now remember one thing. The information will come from the transport layer. Am I right or wrong? This is I am talking at the sender point of view. The sender will send the information from the transport layer consists of TCP header and the data. Here we don't have any total length field. When it comes to the network layer, as it is using the IP, you have the IP header and this total information, will you accept it with me or not? This total information header and data of the TCP will be placed here as a data. How many members will agree with me or not? You have the transport layer, you have the data which is coming from the application layer. For that data, you are adding the TCP header. When it comes to the network layer, the IP header and this complete information will be considered as a data and to be added. Am I right? That is what we have discussed even when we are discussing at the OSI layer. Application layer is sending the message and then each down layer is adding its header to that message. Am I right or wrong? Now at the receiver, what will happen? When the receiver receives this information, first he will receive the IP header. Okay, let me write here so that you can understand. When it received by the receiver, it will receive it as IP header and the data. Now, IP header has a field called total length. It can identify the total length of the packet or a datagram. What is the total length? Including the header length and the data. Total length will tell you header length plus data. And even we have header length field in the IPv4. Let's take that header length is also there. Let's take that header length is saying that it is 20 bytes. This total information, let's take the 200 bytes. Just total length is saying 200 bytes. Can we able to identify what is the size of data? Because header length plus data is the total length. If I subtract header length, then I will get the data. So what will be the data in this case? 180 bytes. So this information is 180 bytes. Will you agree with me or not? This information will go to the transport layer. Now the transport layer is having 180 bytes. Out of that one, transport layer will have the TCP header because you are sending the TCP only. So at the receiver also you will receive the same information. Let's take the TCP header is also 20 bytes. Then what will be the data size here? 160 bytes. So that is the way the receiver could able to identify how much size of the data you are sending. Let's take that you are sending the first sequence number is 200. Are you able to understand? Then can you tell me what will be the last byte? It will be 200 plus 159, which will be 359. So receiver could able to understand this will be the last byte number 359 because you are sending the sequence number as 200. So the first byte is 200 byte and then 160 bytes you need to take. So the last byte is 359. So what will be the acknowledgement it will send? It will send the acknowledgement as 360. I hope you have understood about the sequence numbers and acknowledgement numbers in detail. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts in less than 24 hours. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.